to focus on not just, we like to play around a little bit and keep things fun, but not just, have you been cheated on? Have you done the cheating? And what are those, obvious things that we know are no-nos? Okay, y'all are letting us know.
I'm going to say yes, too. I'm going to throw my yes in the hat as well.
I'm going to throw my yes up in there, too. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a yes over here. This screen is about blurry as I don't know what. Okay, I guess
blurry because I'm moving.
Okay, well.
And I'm not going to stay still.
Yeah, I can see what's going on. So, so it's important for us to pay attention to the things that we may often minimize, that we may overlook, that we don't think, are a big deal. And sometimes we get confused. Amina said, who hasn't been cheated on? Hey, you know what, girl, that's a good question. If you ain't never been cheated on and you ain't never experienced that at all, how about you give us 2 eyes? Yes. I ain't never experienced it. And count yourself lucky and perhaps even blessed. But we tonight are aware of the things we need to check that you may not be checking, because sometimes people push boundaries with you in your relationship, or your friends tell you like, well, I'm not trying to like be in control. Like, nah, like there need to be some boundaries that sometimes we don't always honor because we think that maybe that's doing the most or it's doing too much. And so we just want to make some things plain tonight.
Yes,
we want to be clear about what cheating is and what micro cheating is, what that's all about. Yeah, Stephanie, wait a minute tonight. Where are they? Are you here? If you're in the house, that's what she said. She said,
asking,
wait
Stephanie,
a minute
asking,
tonight.
Wait a minute. Is it because you're saying that we be the perpetrators of cheating? Nah, I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of women on here that are saying that they cheated. So that's a good thing right there. I'm glad women are copping to it.
It's both.
I will say. It really is both.
I just want to shout out folks on YouTube out. Natalie, I see you. What's going on, Miss Treasure?
So they didn't hear the question.
See Kaylin and 36 Soybean and Anthony Gordon and Shawana. I see you guys. So the question is, what was the question?
The question was, have you been cheated on?
Oh yeah, have you been cheated on? So people,
so say yes.
Putting it out there.
There's a bunch of people saying yep over here on Facebook. Over here on YouTube, have y'all been cheated on before? Say yes if you have. Now here's another question. We got people saying that they've been cheated on Facebook. Have you been the cheater? Will you answer yes or no to that? Have you been the cheater? If you've been the cheater before, say yes.
Oh.
I want to let the yeses roll in.
Have you cheated?
Okay, I'm seeing some people being honest here.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, let's just keep it 100. Just going ahead and it's me, oh. It's me. So let's go ahead and get started this evening, my brother. We're talking tonight. We're going to fix this in the future so that there's 2 of these up, because clearly you just like don't be in formation.
I'm trying to be in formation, baby.
Yeah. Okay. We need to get started. So what does it mean to cheat? Let's go ahead and get clear about that. What does it mean to cheat? What do you define as cheating? Because there are all kinds of things that people do. Their folks will say, nah, I mean, he's just flirtatious, or, she's just expressive, or whatever, and we're like, nah, that's kind of borderline. And people get confused.
What's up, Jocelyn?
What exactly does it mean to cheat? Right? Oh, okay. Look, okay. Shark Production said, I've never been cheated on. Okay. I hadn't seen anybody say that. Let me find out. Gary keeping it real. Gary said, I don't have the time or energy to cheat. You know what I'm saying? I be wondering that sometimes, like, it is a lot just to manage the one you got. And you know what I'm saying? You're going to be a cheater. You got to get real clever. And you know what I'm saying? And answer the phone at this time and make sure it don't buzz at this time. And people be having 2 phones. People be having 3 phones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She find this one, then I got another one in the back. Like, it takes a lot of time and energy to cheat. So look, this is how I define cheating. This may not be from the dictionary, right? I like to Google things, so I have done that so that y'all understand what the dictionary's definition is. But basically, what it says, and I'm gonna give you my version. It says to act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage. Ooh, to act unfairly or dishonestly in order to gain an advantage. And what I say is this: anything that you're doing that you would not do when your partner is not around, anything that you're doing when your partner is not around, and you would not do it if they were to walk into the room, or you would shift just a little bit. You're not even really guilty. You're just having a conversation, but you would shift your body language a little bit, or maybe you would sit back a little bit, or whatever you would do differently. Anything like that, you might be doing some micro cheating. Your boundaries is all messed up, because you should be able to be the same way with your partner in the room or out of the room. And it should be all good. It's not like I adjust because I know how he is. I adjust, when he comes in the room, when she comes in the room, because I'm giving respect. You give respect at all times, right?
Yeah.
The way that you carry yourself, the way that you roll, who you talk to, how you flow, what you do, how you show up should always be given respect to the relationship that you have. So that's how I define cheating. Would you do? I always ask people that. Would you do that if she was there? Would you have said that if he was right there looking at you? If you wouldn't have, then you're hitting a boundary.
All right, so it's a couple of things that I want to lift up this evening. Before we even begin, let me throw out a disclaimer here. While we're both therapists, this right here ain't therapy, y'all. This is information, good information, some entertainment along with it as well. So please enjoy, please like, please comment, please share.
Yeah, please, can y'all like the video?
Yeah, please
Just
like,
go
please
ahead and do
comment,
that right
please
now.
share. In addition to that,
please.
One thing that I want to lift up before we get into this list is that I want to always leave room for the human aspect of who we are as a people.
What?
And so
I'm sorry.
Man, you looking at me like
I just realized that was like real judgmental. Like we talking about microcheating, you like, well, the human aspect of who we are as a people, because we just naturally cheaters. But
that's not what I'm saying. I mean, what I'm saying is this: is that as human beings, we have certain tastes, certain inclinations, certain proclivities, certain interests, certain desires that are natural. So we have a natural desire, a natural appetite as men and as people to procreate. And so I'm lifting this up. Hold on, I'm not excusing.
Elaborate on that. What does that mean?
So what that means is that men find women, and sometimes men find other men attractive. Men and women sometimes engage in activities, behaviors, conversations. They do things that may jeopardize the safety and the sanctity of what it means to be in a secure and committed relationship. I'm lifting this up because I want people to understand that as human beings, we're flawed people, y'all. We're flawed. And it's not to excuse any behavior whatsoever, but it's to make people aware of the reality that as human beings, you might see somebody that's attractive. You really might. You might feel a heart nudge, a certain inclination to engage in a conversation just a little bit too long. And so I'm lifting this up again because I want people to be aware and to respect the fact that we're people and these things do happen. As many of you have said, you all have been the cheater and you all have been cheated on. Fine 29 says, and they do it by choice. I agree 1,000%. Keep in mind, people do it because they're being tugged and because sometimes they lack discipline. But again, I'm just lifting this up because it's a reality of what
they lack discipline.
A lot of times they lack discipline. But I'm lifting this up because it's a reality of what we have to deal with internally as people, managing our emotions, managing our desires, managing our inclinations, and exercising discipline as we engage people of the same sex or the opposite sex.
Okay.
All right. So that was what I wanted to say from the offset.
Okay. So, all right, we've established, at least from our thinking, and then also what we looked up what cheating is. What does it mean to micro cheat? What is it that would be defined as micro cheating?
Stephanie said, "Oh, here goes one dude." Hey, Bruce, you might be in here by yourself tonight. I don't know. We got a bunch of guys over here on YouTube, though. Hey, but we're referencing. I know you're about to define micro cheating, but we're referencing, y'all, a study that was done of over 7,000 people about this whole micro cheating piece, and 7,000 people were surveyed, and they answered the question whether or not they consider certain actions micro cheating. And so we're going to go through this list too as we break down this whole micro cheating piece.
And people define cheating and micro cheating differently based on who you are. And so I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. People define it differently, but micro cheating is when you do things that might not be considered outright infidelity, but they are nonetheless breaches of trust, and they can lead to cheating, straight out cheating. But here again, it's really interesting because as we looked at the results of that study, there were people who said, what is one person considered to be micro cheating? They considered it to be cheating. So people have these little fuzzy lines, and we want to get real clear tonight. We want to get real clear tonight. But again, micro cheating is something that we really need to pay attention to because people don't recognize it. And when you don't recognize it, you cannot acknowledge it. Yeah. And if you don't acknowledge it, you cannot change it so that you don't find yourself sitting down like, what the hell? How did I get here? Well, maybe you was doing some micro cheating that you were not paying attention to and your partner wasn't either. Number one, here we go. Number one, this the number. This does not mean it's the number one thing. This is number one on the list tonight. in terms of those 10 types of, we're going to give you 10 types of micro cheating, and kind of gets you into that territory of perhaps actually going all the way and cheating. What's the number one thing? I know you want to say something else.
I do want to say something else because you're saying actually going all the way and cheating. Again, as we already said, that many people would consider micro cheating to be cheating.
So we're gonna process it. Let's go through each one.
Yeah.
The first one.
All right. So the first one is this: contacting an ex on social media. That's classified as micro cheating. Contacting an ex on social media. What do y'all say about that? Do y'all think that is a form of micro cheating, a breach of trust in a relationship if you contact an ex, or if your boo contacts an ex on social media? What do y'all say?
And let's just, for each thing here, I'd like for us to just comment here. So if I come, I just happen to sit down at the computer and your Facebook profile is up and I'm like, oh, and I'm on it, but I don't really realize I'm on it. Then I go into messages, I see, and I'm like, oh snap, this ain't my message. And then so-and-so from back in the day is like,
you saying in my instant messages?
Yeah, your instant messages is like, hey. And I look at the thread and y'all are exchanging and talking.
Okay.
Right? And you initiated it, even if you didn't even initiate it, but don't let you initiate it. Now be on something else. That's a problem. That is absolutely, for me, and I'm getting yes all the way down the line. That is micro cheating. What in the world are you contacting them for? Now, how many people have dealt with that? Because in the work that we've done, so many people will say, I shouldn't have to not be in touch with people. That's not even for real, in person. That's just on social media.
Yeah.
You're trying to control me and, who I'm in relationship with. I'm a grown adult. And I just want to say, y'all, please don't fall for that.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. And sometimes I find that the other partner is trying to make sure they're not doing the most, whatever that means. And so they're like, okay, well, I'm trying to trust you, but it just makes me uncomfortable. I just want you to know that. Like, nah, that's not acceptable. We don't roll like that in this relationship. So I don't want you to know that.
So it seems like the majority of people are saying that cool. it is cheating. It's micro cheating and it's not cool. It shouldn't be done. But I do see some comments over here on YouTube where they're talking about how it really depends on the context of the conversation. If you're talking about sex, then yeah, it's cheating. But if we're just
talking about contact.
Talking about a family reunion. I mean, not a family reunion, but a class reunion.
I don't want no connection.
No connection.
No, remember when back when you was in school?
So what if she reaches out? What if she reaches out to me?
Connecting in with that person.
What if she reaches out to me?
You better act like you didn't see it.
Oh, act like I didn't see it. But what if I see it, respond, and then tell you?
Yes, actually happened.
Yeah.
And so do you remember what my response was?
I do.
What was it?
I don't need to be having that conversation.
Yeah, like what did you? Don't be respond. Don't respond. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna say no names, but they try to turn into like a fan a little bit. Like, I love what y'all are doing. I don't care. Oh, now what you getting concerned? You getting concerned about if this person is watching us and if they're actually like, is she talking about me? I'm not gonna say the name, but I don't care. So I'm just gonna make it clear. I don't care if you're a fan. Oh, you guys are doing great work. So I have a question about relationships. Girl, back up. Bye. No, you can go somewhere else because I would not do that to anyone. Anybody who I have had sip it. If I had a relationship with you, I'm not coming. Oh, your partner is a whatever, massage therapist, a doctor, a vet. Can you look at my dog? No, go somewhere else, right? So everybody needs to be clear that when you do that, you walk a slippery slope, and it's not cool and it's not cute. I don't like it. Okay, I'm getting I'm getting agitated by it. But let me say this. People did say, in terms of contacting an ex on social media, there were 24% of people that thought it actually counted as cheating. Okay, they actually thought it counted as cheating. So what we're saying here is that it's a breach of trust. We can get caught up on the words of cheating or micro cheating, and I think there are distinctions. And I think you have to look at it case by case depending on what's going on. But that's what's happening at the heart of the matter. There's a breach of trust. I didn't know about this. You didn't tell me what's going on. I just saw this. What's the deal, right? So that's a problem, and it's not like, oh, it's like what? I'm just chilling. Like, no, that's not good. Also, let's just add this one on in here. Same thing for for liking an old social media
It's
post.
Interesting because this survey says that 37% of people consider that to be micro cheating. When you can't they say 24% say you shouldn't be contacting a person, but 37% say that you shouldn't be liking an old post. Really?
So how many of you all, when you're on social media, when you get likes for your post, how many people, just give me a why, actually, depending on what you put out, you may not do it every time, you see who liked it. How many of y'all do that? Just give me a why. You go back and look to see what kind of engagement you got and who was actually paying attention. I do, right? People, we do. So if you're going back and you're liking a post of someone's, or even an old post that someone has put out that is, someone that you used to kind of have some relations with, right? Then that's another way. That's that. Does Facebook still have this when you can poke somebody? That thing, I don't understand pokes. If somebody can break down the purpose of a poke, please let me know, because I don't understand what the purpose of a poke is in the first place. I'm like,
so it's like you poking them?
Yeah, it's like a poke. Like, hey, that's exactly what it is, ain't it? It's a old sneaky poke, And so doing that, okay, so everybody says yes. Almost everyone is saying, yeah, I look to see who liked my post. So when you do that, you're trying to get attention, and we're just gonna call you out right now if you've been engaging in that. You need to stop.
Hold on. So yes. Are you trying to get their attention?
Absolutely.
Or are you just liking the post?
Don't like it.
So
you don't need to be.
So what if they put something that's in alignment with your vibration, and you really appreciate the perspective or position that they're taking, and so you like it?
Yeah, go ahead and
answer. It's not like you liking them. You're just liking what they.
Answer that.
I'm answering based off of your face.
No, I mean, I just want to know, I want to know your perspective. What if you are really, vibing with what they're saying?
Well, so here's the thing. I think this is the issue. You really wouldn't even see their posts unless you were their friend. And so that gets back back to you friending the person that you formerly had a relationship with. And so if there was a way where you could see their posts without being their friend, without intentionally going to their page, and their post just happen to pop up, I think that it's okay if you like it. And I'm not liking it because I'm thinking about the fact that you're going to be seeing that I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Half of the time, I'm not even paying attention to who put what out. I'm just liking what I see.
What y'all think about that? Really? And look, okay, so I got some good feedback here. Jocelyn said, just liking a post, is it that serious? Jocelyn, stop playing, girl, because let me tell you something. If again, we're looking back at what people put out, and you're looking to see who likes what, and here you are liking your former partner's post, interacting. See, some of y'all be all interacting anyway. Y'all get on each other's pages and send messages and whatever. So y'all like, what's that? That ain't nothing compared. But I'm trying to understand why you relating in the first place. Why are you doing that in the first place?
Again, so the survey says they're repeatedly visiting a person's profile. 41% of people say that right there is microcheating.
Yes. What are you all about me for?
Visiting somebody's profile.
So think about it like this. This is what I like to tell people.
More than your partner.
Yeah, probably more than yours. What the hell? So let's think about it like this. If you take social media away, this is helpful for people a lot of times. If you take social media away, how many times would you go over to that person's house? Their page is their house. How many times would you go over to where they are? How many times would you come and try to find them and say, I really like what you're doing, I see you out here, you know what I mean? And you making big moves. How many times did you contact them, go physically to them to have that conversation? How many times are you trying to call them up on the phone to tell them how much you like what they're doing? It is the same thing. It's just social media. Social media helps us to kind of feel like we're a little, pushed away, but it's really the same thing. Before we had that, would you be doing all that? Like, no, what's that about? And so you have to think about it in that way, because that's really what's happening. And I want you all to understand that you're making a connection. At the heart of the matter, you're making a connection. And the screen sometimes makes us think it's not really all that, but it is.
So I agree. You wouldn't ordinarily seek them out, but if they presented what they're doing to you, if they presented that to you, then you're going to respond naturally to what it is that they're doing if you like it.
So they come up over my house, again, take social media away. Somebody come up over my house, somebody like, yeah, oh wow, that's great. But I have to say, that's a little, but you ain't seen them in the street, because when you're going to like somebody's stuff or you're going to their page, you're intentionally going to them.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have to ask you not to show up though next time.
Yeah.
Right. So same thing with lying about your relationship status on social media. Why do some people do that? You're in a relationship, but you ain't trying to put it out there. I don't want people in my business. But what? I mean, you don't have, like, what's the point of lying though? There's no reason to do that. 54% of people surveyed said that's basically cheating, because you are just basically misrepresenting. What is that about? Okay, Jocelyn, I love that. She said, offer me a different perspective. So something to think about in terms of, take social media away. Would you do those things physically, in real life, right? Real life, like social media ain't real life, in person. But again, lying about your relationship status. I mean, What is that about? That is micro cheating because it's like you're trying to position yourself, and there's a lot of brothers out here. I know women probably do it too. A lot of brothers out here.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. Like I'm just gonna keep it on that so I can keep myself open to the game. And we got to stop that stuff. Okay.
All right, and if you're in a relationship, but yet you're keeping an active dating profile, I mean, come on now. I mean, that's obvious right there. Like according to the survey, 58% of people say that that's cheating. You're keeping an active dating profile because you're still playing the field. You know, you're still trying to find out and see what's going on. You're putting your fillers out there. So again, if you're doing that, please cut it, y'all. Please cut it.
So why do we do that? Particularly for those of you who are dating or in a committed relationship, but you're not yet married. A lot of people make they kind of stand behind this piece around, well, we're not married yet, right? Okay, so I don't have to get rid of my profile. I am single technically. People will say that technically until you put the ring on it or until you're my wife, you know, it's just up. I'm not doing nothing with it, but I'm gonna take it down because I don't feel like we have that type of we're not committed on that level. And to me, that's just a sophisticated but poor ass way of playing games. Don't play games. You know what I'm saying? Don't play games like that. Like if you're in a committed relationship, if you are with the person, whether you are married or not, and you all are saying you all are exclusive, then be exclusive. There's no reason for you to have a profile up. And it's certainly no reason for you to keep it active, to go on there every now and then. Certainly not to be telling your partner, you know, it's no big deal. So Michael has asked a question. If you're in the grocery store and your ex speaks and you speak back, but keep on walking, is that micro cheating? Now I'm just gonna say that's not micro cheating, y'all. Like, yeah, somebody will be like, your partner look at you like you better not say nothing. No, I don't think that's micro cheating, right? That's just straight up. That's straight up like you just being courteous, right? Yeah. So, but let me tell you something. When you stand there in the aisle for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, damn, what did I come to the store for? Oh man, let me go ahead. You see each other at the checkout. You walking out. You kind of halfway timing, you know, when you leave the store. No, I'm not really doing that. I just got to go back and get something. I forgot because she ain't to the checkout yet. Well, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's a little curiosity there. And then y'all outside there, you standing by the car, just getting caught up. I mean, we had that was, you know, my old boo. It's not like I don't know him. That's micro cheating. Yeah. Because you are trying to, whether it's conscious or unconscious, you are establishing a connection. And you're sustaining it. It's one thing to be able to just see somebody. It's another thing to keep that thing prolonged, right? So that's right. Keep it moving. Hi and goodbye. And sometimes that thing hurts because we be curious, though. We want to know what you're doing, what you're up to, who you with, right? We want to know all that stuff. I mean, we're humans. You just talked about that at the beginning. We're human. Yeah. But those who lack discipline find themselves ass out. Your ass out of luck. If you don't have no discipline and you can't say why you told your boo you was getting ready to go to the store and the store was just a 7-Eleven. It ain't even no big store. You was going to the 7-Eleven. It's 5 minutes from the house.
You went grocery shopping.
It's 5 minutes from the house.
Grocery shopping in 7-Eleven.
Hold up. It's 5 minutes from the house walking.
Yeah.
It only take you 2 minutes to drive there. Okay. And then you come back an hour later. What was you doing? Now you got another situation. Oh, you know, now you're making stuff up, right? Yeah. Now lies that are unnecessary on top of other lies, right? That's micro cheating because now you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to rationalize and make up things for what, right? So you got to make sure that you pay attention to your behaviors. Anything, remember what I said, anything that you can do in the darkness should be able to be done in the light. There shouldn't be no darkness. There should be no difference. So would you stand around rapping to somebody with your boo right there? Would you do that? Or would you be like, you know, all right, yeah, it was good. You might, you know, engage a little bit and then go ahead and roll out. You know, let me go ahead and get back home. You know, let me go ahead because I know my wife, my boo's looking for me, right? Say their name. So you have to pay attention to that. And they might even be like, oh, dag, like, they trying to like make sure that they put their wife. Yeah, because most people don't do that. We're trying to accommodate the person we're dealing with and not the person who we're committed to. Yeah. I don't want to say that because I want them to feel some type of way. How about you say that so that they understand where you're positioned? Back in my days before we got married, and you know, for anybody who's followed us, you know, I had my cheating days. Did I? Yeah. Anything you want to add to that? Anything you want to say? Did you?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Why you always gotta do that? Why you gotta be like, why I gotta prompt you? Yeah, I did. I did too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I did. Let me tell you something. There was a certain kind of energy that I had, right? I wasn't intentional about it. I just, I know this now from looking back. So if people were stepping to me and somebody was, looking my way and hollering at me, the way that I carried myself in some way sent the message I might be open and available.
Mm-hmm.
I might be interested. I mean, it just did. Because the moment I shifted mentally and was in a completely different place and trying to be a better person, trying to be a better partner, not just for him, absolutely for him, but also because I just wanted to be a better me. I was serious about that thing. Like, girl, you got to get this thing together. He is the one. It's no reason for this. You need to get yourself together. As soon as I started doing that, the energy shifted. People don't be looking my way. I see people like, taking a look, but they don't know. People don't step to me like that. Hey, like I'm not sustaining no eye contact. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving, right? There's a different kind of way you carry yourself, and that's the kind of energy that you attract based on how you carry yourself. And so you can be like, oh, it ain't that big a deal. It is. And we have a lot to do with what we get out in the world.
That's true.
And I appreciate that too. Because look, we've had conversations and I'd be like, do you be looking at people? And he's like, I've trained myself. How you say it? Yeah. I've trained myself too.
I don't say it like that.
I'm not dead. I see stuff. Yeah, but
yeah, I definitely see stuff. But I mean, I pride myself on my discipline. And when everybody else be looking at the fatties and all of that type of stuff, I manage myself and I'm disciplined. And again, I really pride myself.
Me too.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I make it a point sometimes to when everybody else is looking, I look the other way.
It's like you when you were a vegetarian for a little while.
Yeah.
And he was a vegetarian early on. I know y'all like, where's she going with this?
Mm-hmm.
But that the vegetarians get on your nerves. They're like, oh, are you eating that? You're eating that swine or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They judge you. And you're like, dude, like just do your little eat your apples and eat your green beans and keep it moving. So but you was kind of like that a little bit, like I'm above that.
Not even above that, but I know if you dance in the water, you're bound to get wet. So
what's your quote? It's easier
to avoid than it is to resist. So I'm a guy. I'm a guy. And
wait a minute, I need to get that. It's easier to avoid
than it is to resist. It really is. So I don't put myself in positions, situations, circumstances.
I can definitely say
and sometimes I do feel, based off of some of the male relationships that I have that you feel like a sucker sometimes. But again,
who feel like a sucker?
I do.
Oh.
But why? It's a certain level of maturity that you have to elevate to.
Why do you feel like a sucker?
To be able to stand in that place? Because as men, a lot of men, we men. So a lot of the men know what I'm talking about.
So we got stereotypes.
Yeah, we got stereotypes and a lot of men behave in a certain way, especially when it comes to women. And so again, you have to discipline yourself, maintain self-control and regulate yourself emotionally so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you come up short. Again, it's easier to avoid, y'all, than it is to resist. This right here, this queen right here is my priority. My family is my priority. And I make sure I keep them at the forefront of my head, my heart, and my mind all the time.
Okay. Here's another one, guys. Turning to someone other than your partner for emotional support. Mm-hmm. How many times have people found that? And that can be a tempting thing to do, especially when you're having a rough spot in your relationship, especially when you and your partner are not connected emotionally, in certain ways. And so you really genuinely, all people need to feel seen, heard, emotionally connected. And if you find yourself on the job and there's somebody who, you just vibe with, and mm-hmm. they just kind of seem like they are in the same zone as you, they get you. If you are, you go to your gym, you got that person, right? Whatever. Then it can be really tempting to kind of share with them, right? There you go. I mean, work wives and work husbands. Hold mm-hmm. up. I was sitting in a meeting one time and the woman, it was the first time I had met with her. It was about 4 of us in the meeting, 4 or 5 of us. And she said, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. She picked up her phone. It's my work husband. Hold on one second. Oh, my goodness. Because I'm in a meeting. And then she like referenced him like 3 or 4 more times in the meeting, right? My work husband always da da da. And so I wanted to ask so bad, do you have a real husband? Are you just saying that? And maybe you don't have a real husband, and maybe you really like, I want him to be my real husband, because she referenced him with such like such, affection, like, oh my gosh, he drives me crazy. I have to call him as soon as we're done with this meeting. I was like, dude, do any of y'all do that? Y'all tell the truth. Some of y'all got these work wives and work husbands. And we have to understand that when we turn to somebody else other than our partner for emotional support, you absolutely, automatically, and instantly open the door for a different type of connection and for your ass to be ass out. Let me tell you something. That is the basis. That's the basis of why many, many, many cases of infidelity and so forth happen, because people are not satisfied at home. People are not feeling okay. They're not feeling able to be themselves. They don't feel seen, heard, even comfortable talking to their partner, right, about any number of things, or their partner just doesn't get it. And of course, the person who ain't got to take out the trash, figure out how we're going to make sure we cover this mortgage, you know what I'm saying, get these kids to school and do all these other things. Of course, they can be right there with you, right? And they can say all the right things because they don't have to manage life the same way that both of y'all have to manage life. And so I just want to validate that there are going to be spaces and times where you are disconnected from your partner and you don't feel them and they don't feel you. And it's really tempting to go outside of your relationship. But trust me when I say the grass is always greener on the other side. You got to be willing to deal with the funkiness, right? And do the work to get the sweetness that you need to get in the relationship. Don't look for somebody else, please. Don't look for somebody else. All right, what's the next one? I see some comments coming in. Y'all got some good comments.
I'm seeing a bunch of comments. So one comment I want to lift up over here on YouTube is Anthony. He says that it's crazy sometimes you spend more time with your coworkers than your spouse. And that's real talk.
That is. You look at how much time we spend at work.
Yeah, you develop. I mean, the reality is that you develop relationships with people at work.
You do.
Now, there should be boundaries in those relationships, but you are developing relationships with your coworkers. And so if you have healthy and appropriate boundaries, then you'll make sure that nobody's crossing the line and you're not crossing the line when it comes to the type of relationship that you have.
And here's the other thing. I mean, so people have asked this before. So you mean to tell me then, and I'm speaking for, let's just take a heterosexual couple, okay? And so then the woman says, so you mean to tell me that I can't, if I have a colleague at work who is of the opposite sex, and we actually, he's actually teaching me things, I'm teaching him things, we have each other's back, we work well together, right? That I now then cannot be any more than just like, oh, come in my office for the meeting, leave out, don't talk to me anymore because I don't want to, like, what's up with that? Like, I'm a full person, I'm a whole person, and there are lots of people who, we can network with, connect with, right, in a collegial way to be able to help grow us. What I'm saying is this: the moment that y'all are spending more time than you need to look over that document that ain't nothing but 2 paragraphs, and you sitting there for 2 hours, the moment y'all start to do that, then you need to then include your partner in. That means that if you all are starting to get familiar on another level, well, let's go have lunch or whatever. Hey, come meet us, right? Can you come on, boo? Like, let's go. Like, y'all hanging out on the weekends. You know that such and such, what's happening this weekend.
Yeah, man, you
go ahead and get your boo, because I'm gonna bring mine. Let's hook up. So any friend of Ayize's is a friend of mine, like for real, not for fake, for real. Any friend of mine is a friend of his. So we're able to engage with people of the opposite sex, right? But any friend of mine that I'm having a more than just business, and they're really becoming a genuine friend. Wow, I really like this brother, right? He's cool, whatever. Now you're a friend of my husband, because now the dynamic is such that they connect with him typically even more than they connect with me, right? And that there's a balance and a bouncing back and forth because we're friends as couples, right? And that's how you do it. It doesn't mean I never have conversations with that person by myself, or he doesn't have conversations with another woman by himself, but we are friends as a unit. And that helps everybody to be more comfortable, and it helps everybody to be more accountable. Ooh. Yeah, because that's what we got to do. We got to have a process. Look, somebody said 2 hours over 2 paragraphs is already too late. So what's the next one? I wanted to read somebody else's comment because y'all saying some good. Oh, look, Chris Brown. Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Brown. He said it starts before then. It starts when you're thinking about them inappropriately. Mm-hmm. So you already know. I mean, I appreciate you, Chris, for saying that. We already know when we start to have, some kind of feelings.
Yeah.
Like some kind of curiosity. You kind of looking a little bit longer and you're thinking a little bit more. So you got to pay attention. Just be honest.
I do have a question. So yes, be honest. What if you have a thought? What if you have a feeling when you're asleep? So what if you have a dream about the person? Is that micro-cheating? I mean, really, if you have a dream about the person, would y'all consider that to be micro-cheating? Now, this right here isn't on the survey. You say no?
No.
Why you say no?
You can't control what you dream. I think it's information. For me, somebody said, I'm going to get y'all a shirt. What kind of shirt you going to get us? I'm going to get y'all a shirt,
Chris, the one that I saw that I ran into the store.
Chris! Oh! Yes! We need a shirt, Chris. Yes. We need shirts. For real, inbox us for real. So if you're dreaming about someone, then that's information for you. I want people to understand this, because sometimes people get they get concerned about it. What does this mean? Does this mean I don't love my man as much as I thought, whatever?
Now, what if you don't share with your partner? Is that micro-cheating?
Hold on, let me finish. So the thing to understand is this: our dreams or the subtle undercurrents of what we're feeling, they're there to teach us. These bracelets are getting on my nerves. They're there to teach us a little more about ourselves. They give us information about our needs and what it is that we may or may not be getting, what we're looking for. So it's not always about another person. It's more so about what is it that dream is telling you in terms of the energy that you're looking for, in terms of the kind of experience you want to have, in terms of how freaky you want to get. Right. Like I'm just giving examples. Right. And so it's not necessarily about the person. It's about what does it represent? Anytime I have a dream, I be Googling fast as a mug. What does this symbolize? I want to know everything. What does it symbolize? Because I want to understand more about what's happening in my unconscious, because our dream state and what happens in our dreams, those things really tell us. It's kind of like, how they say, what is the thing? Whatever, when you're drunk or whatever,
a drunk mind speaks.
I didn't say it because I know I'll mess it up. But
a drunken man speaks a sober mind.
Speaks sober or whatever, right? Like you tell the truth when you twist it. That's my version. Yeah. You tell the truth when you twist it, right? So it's the same thing in terms of our dreams. It really gives us some sense of what's happening for us. I don't think that that's micro-cheating. I think that's information for you.
But what if you don't tell them? I mean, so would you all tell your spouse if you had a dream about somebody else?
No. Ooh.
Hold on. You wouldn't share with me?
Yeah.
Let's have this discussion right now.
I just had to be real. You know what I'm saying? We said we keep it 100, then we got to keep it 100.
All right, so go ahead.
Chris, you come on our show. Chris, we are starting a show, and I want you to come on it. Seriously, like another show, like a for real, like
Chris said probably not.
Nah, seriously, like.
So everybody's saying
Chris,
no.
you're coming on our show. I like that. Seriously, we're gonna get in touch with you.
Yes, I'm telling.
You're telling. Okay, I mean,
I would tell too, but you said no a second ago.
You would tell me after about 3 months.
That's not true.
Tell the truth.
No.
1 month? You're not telling me like you're not waking up like, babe, last night.
I would process first, which might take a day or 2 or 3, and then I would tell you.
So wait. Let me ask you this.
And the reason why I had the dream.
Well, yeah, that's what I need to know. I'm dreaming about somebody else. So does that automatically mean inappropriately, like sexually or something? Or,
yeah, if it's inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not telling you. So let me just say. And I have not done that because you meet all my desires. Okay, that hasn't happened. I wish I could remember my dreams. I don't remember half my dreams. If I dream about something, it's usually when I'm really suppressing anxiety and fear and stuff comes out, and I'm like, I was falling and then I died, and you know what I'm saying, like, and that stuff is burst through my dreams. And I realized, okay, Aiyana, you need to get centered and deal with some things that you may not be, trying to be in touch with. So when I say that, babe, this is where I'm coming from. I mean, I think everybody, right? We talked about boundaries in our last live stream.
Yeah.
And so everybody has a place where they begin and the other person ends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may have some thoughts, some feelings. This is not just about me. This is what I think about everybody, right? I may have some thoughts and feelings and experiences internally that are happening for me that help me to know more about myself that give me more information about myself, what I'm doing, how I'm flowing, right? I'm going to tell you if I'm getting to a place where I'm like, wow, I'm really challenged. I'm feeling this dude that I've been seeing, and you know what I'm saying? I keep seeing him like a couple times a week, at this common space, and it feels kind of like, ooh, let me go ahead and holler at you and let you know, like, you know what? First of all, let me put that boundary up, but I'm also feeling a little vulnerable and whatever, and I just want to be real with you, right? Because we talked about that's a whole nother live stream. If you find yourself in a place where you're feeling vulnerable and you're feeling some type of way and it's with a particular person, then you need to have a process to be able to share with your boo so that you can then come together with them and y'all can start to show each other up. Oh, you what? Because they're going to be irritated and mad, right? But then they're going to be on their game, ain't they? Well, you're going to be on your game like, what? Say what? So you feeling a little, what? Okay, so let me make sure I get her tight, more often than not, when you all both have really good intentions. Somebody said boundaries with a question mark. We talked last week just about having good boundaries in your relationship, and that relationships with good boundaries with other people, but then also between the two of you are relationships that are successful. So going back to my original point, if I have a dream and it's like that, like I have a personal, internal, emotional life, and I don't have to share every single thing with my partner. What I am obligated to share with you is if there's something that's at risk, to our relationship. But if me and Denzel is getting it on in the dream, I ain't got to tell you that. Oh.
Denzel, really?
Right, like really not. I just kept it to Denzel, so you're gonna be like, who?
All right, so another one, y'all. So if you have,
and we have those over.
If you have,
how many more?
Exes, not even exes, but people that you may be interested in your phone under fake names.
Oh,
that's micro-cheating, y'all. 74% of people say that's micro-cheating. You got people in your phone under fake names, weird emojis, and whatever it may be. That right there is micro-cheating. Has anybody caught their partner doing this? I'm curious. I really want to know. Has anybody caught? And are you doing this right now? You probably ain't gonna raise your hand and say yes, but again, that right there is a problem for the relationship. And again, if you're doing that, that's micro-cheating, y'all, because it speaks to the fact that, again, you're trying to maintain or at least establish a relationship in privacy and secrecy. And that's concerning because you're supposed to have an open relationship with your partner where you're expressing yourself, sharing with your partner, and connected in with your partner. Now, if you're maintaining a relationship with somebody else and it's in secrecy, then again, that's micro-cheating. It's you stepping out on your partner, even though you actually haven't done something physical.
Look, and I may not be pronouncing your name correctly, but Fran Janera says that's just cheating. Laugh out loud. Okay, that's just straight up cheating. So another one, I'm not sure what this means. Read that. Another one, and I think this is the last one, is, hold on, where is it at? It's minimizing your relationship.
That's not the last one. We got one more.
Okay, downplaying your relationship. So sometimes we don't realize that we're doing that. But people do that. They downplay their relationship, minimize it. We do it. I ain't gonna say we, because I don't do that. I play up my relationship because it's all that. And then some. I was about to say a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so old.
Yeah.
Y'all help me out. Help us not get old, y'all. Help us not get old. So we do that though in all kinds of ways. People will do that when somebody approaches you and says, "Hey, how are things going? How's the wifey? How's your man? Whatever."
You're quick to lift up the problems. You're quick to express it as an issue.
Yeah, do like this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm surviving.
It
is what it is.
I ain't even trying to.
Yeah, you always got drama.
Do like you just go like this.
Drama, always or constantly having drama in your home, especially if you express it as an invitation for somebody else to try to solve their problem.
Man, that's a setup. That's a set up. And people don't recognize and realize that. Do not try to put out there this energy that things are not right and things are not well, and you downplay your relationship. So yes, you may have challenges and you may have difficulties, but the way that you're talking, I'm going back to what I said at the beginning of this live stream. If you had your partner right there with you, would you say that? Like that. So for some people, that is like beyond, like, who does that? Like, you operate as two different people. You are one person with your partner and you're a completely different person when he's not around or when she's not around. People don't even understand. Some people cannot even fathom, like, why would I, like, why do I have to make sure that the way that I represent myself, the things that I say, the things that I project when my partner is not around, I would still do those things when they are around, that I would still do those things when they're not around, right? That's called integrity. It's called integrity. And so some of us, it's not even a relationship thing. It's just how we roll as people.
Yeah.
We kind of fake. We kind of, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking to one coworker, you're talking one way. And when you go talk to another coworker, you talk another way. Right? When you talk to your auntie, you talk one way. And when you talk to your mother, you talk another way. You talk to one friend, you rapping like you understand them. And you talk to another friend and you giving them like, yeah, I know it. No. Just be authentic. Just be genuine. Just be real. Just be you. Do the right thing and show integrity no matter where you are. That means that you're bound to rub somebody the wrong way. You are bound to show up in a way that's going to challenge someone or make someone want to distance themselves from you or make somebody not like you. But if you're trying to be okay with everybody all the time and you're trying to keep peace and make everything all right, whether it's an ex-partner or whether it's your mama and your auntie who have a different opinion on something, whatever it is, if you're doing that, then you will not be able to stand in integrity. You won't. And so we have to just kind of examine that. Sometimes we don't have no bad intentions, right? Most of the time we don't have no bad intentions. We're just trying to make everything comfortable. No. Yeah, you just felt that? I'm glad you felt that. Kelvin. Now, I don't know how to say your first name, Kelvin. You had to give me the phonetics because you said it's Bahr. Bar, bear. Tell me. So don't have, like Christina says, multiple personalities. Yes, you actually can show up with some integrity and be the same way when your partner is not around as you are when they are around. And I will say this, I'm not trying to, preach and all that kind of stuff, but I will say that it does take practice because that's not always where we were. I wasn't always that way. You know what I'm saying? I was the player of the week. You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten to a different place. My husband, you got your stuff with you.
I do.
You did. I'm talking about around not being genuine.
Okay.
And, kind of playing around and stuff, right? But we've gotten to that. If you cheated, you played around, Ayize. We're going to do a whole live stream on why I just be free with mine and why he like, I feel like mine was justified. That's basically what you're saying. I feel like mine was yours is
but I want to look at one more.
Don't try to cut me off. This is just mine is just, I'm wrong. And his is, I was hurt, so I did it too. Let me just help y'all to understand it. He knows it's the truth. I don't care what your reason is. If you find yourself thank you, I got it. If you find yourself in a position where you have stepped out of the relationship, no matter the context, no matter the reason, no matter the prompting, we talked about this in a video we did recently. Can somebody make you cheat? Can't nobody make you cheat.
That's true. You're right.
Boo, 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 boo. You always have a choice. Don't we tell our kids that? You got a choice. You can walk away from them. You ain't got to say nothing. Defend yourself. Don't say nothing. Stop talking. Stop going around where the fight is, whatever. You always have a choice about how you respond to what life gives you. That's the power that God gives us to be able to rise up and meet the circumstances that come to us day by day. And so at the end of the day, you stay kind of stuck in that place of like, nurturing. I was hurt, so I did it. And I'm not trying to disrespect your process, but I also get a little agitated sometimes because I just be free with mine. Like I'm gonna own it, and you like yours is worse. Nah, bruh, nah. And I know that that's rough for you to digest. It's been, how long have we been together?
23 years.
Yeah, and we still working on this.
20.
So let that be a lesson for all. That you have to continue to do the work in your relationship.
Hey, we got one more, y'all.
We got one more?
Yes, we got. I said that about 5 minutes ago, but you wanted your diatribe
Lord.
And then give me a chance to speak.
All right.
So we got one more, y'all. So this right here is going to challenge some of y'all. And the reason why I say that is because tomorrow is Friday. What happens on Fridays, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job? Many of y'all are going to be going to happy hour. You got to watch out for that micro cheating when it comes to happy hour, y'all.
What happens at happy hour?
So at happy hour, my question for you was this.
You get loose.
You get loose with your lips. You get loose. And it might be a payday for some of y'all. You get loose with your pockets. Are you going to be purchasing somebody a drink tomorrow? Are you? And if you do, is it going to be 1, 2, 3? Are you going to be close to them when you're having conversation? Are you going to be leaned up on them? Are you going to be laying back on them? What are you going to be doing? And so you got to be mindful about how you're engaging. Who going to happy hour tomorrow?
We too familiar, y'all. We too familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't say don't minimize my brother's feelings. What about my feelings? Y'all get on my nerves.
Be mindful, y'all, of happy hour.
I should have known.
Happy
Bruce.
hour is the setup. Thanks, Bruce. Happy hour is the setup. You got to make sure you're being mindful that you're not micro-cheating, engaging in behaviors that really you wouldn't do in front of your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, that you're managing yourself. You're exercising discipline. Because when you don't do so, as my wife said about 3 or 4 times this session, you're going to find yourself ass out. You don't want to find yourself in that space, y'all. Prioritize your partner. Prioritize your relationship. This is what matters, y'all. Black love, black marriage, black families matter. And so you got to make sure that you're doing whatever you can do to lift that up, to edify it, to strengthen it, to nurture it. And when you don't do that, then you leave your spouse, you leave yourself vulnerable to be taken advantage of, victimized,
yes,
and left in a rut, y'all. Y'all don't want that to happen.
Accountability, y'all. At the end of the day, you know when you slipping. And you can be confused.
You know.
But you know.
You know.
And we work with people and we just waiting for them to get to the point where they say, I know. Mm-hmm. So take heed of these things we talked about tonight. Don't make those things non-consequential. All of our behaviors and all of our actions have consequences. And sometimes the consequences don't come in the moment, they come a year later. Because you kept stuff going and connecting with other people when you should have been depositing into your relationship. You should have been sharing those kinds of things and those kinds of thoughts and feelings into your relationship. So sometimes it seems as though you're safe, but you're really setting yourself up. And you're going to fall if you do not get disciplined and make sure that you guard your relationship. Tonight we talked about micro-cheating. And really, it's all about making sure that y'all come together, that you spend time with one another, that you give each other energy, that you pay attention to what your partner feels and how uncomfortable they would be if they were around you, more than how uncomfortable the other person is if you have to check them. That's what you have to remind yourself about. And when you can do that with discipline, no matter how you feel, you just say what needs to be said, then and only then can you get your relationship to the level that it needs to be. All right, y'all. This is the end. Bruce, I still reach out to you. We got some things in the works. Yes, Latisse. Oh.
Hey, and Bruce, I saw a live stream that you did, and I think the brother Killmonger was on it. He was dropping some good relationship advice too, y'all. So if you can check, I believe that was him. If so, check him out. He was dropping some good stuff.
Yes. All right, y'all. We see you next time. Bye.
Peace, y'all. All right, Anthony. Yeah, the music means that we wrapping things up now. YouTube. Y'all came on a little bit late, so we got a couple of more minutes with y'all. We're gonna look at these comments over here.
You just gonna keep it going, bro?
I am.
We don't never do that.
I'm gonna see what YouTube is talking about over here. I feel like YouTube was neglected because for some reason we
it wasn't working at first. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know I had to block somebody who was making.
Hey, Tanisha, I see you, Tanisha.
Hey, Gary, thanks for dropping. Tanisha. Gary, thanks for dropping the comments throughout the live stream tonight. What else am I seeing here? We had some good comments and some good energy over here on YouTube. So thank y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please tune in next Thursday. And there was a question about monogamy. Does monogamy take away from a man's natural instincts when it comes to women? I don't.
We can talk about that. That's a whole situation. But go ahead. I ain't trying to stop you.
Nah. I was just gonna say that when it comes to a man's natural instincts, I do think that men, we have the hormones, we have the physiological makeup that may lead us to want to engage in certain acts sexually and to procreate. But I think that when it comes to being in a relationship, but when it comes to being in a relationship, the thing that you can't overestimate or even minimize or negate is the fact that relationships require discipline. Relationships require discipline, y'all. And so when you decide to commit to somebody, regardless of what you have the urge to do, when you're a mature person, when you're an adult, when you're not just acting based off of emotions like a child, based off of your whims, then you regulate what those desires are. You can't have everything that you want when you want it and how you want it. And so you regulate that. And so again, yes, I do see women who are attractive, but I'm not chasing after them because I got my queen right here. But not only because I got my queen, but I want to make sure that I'm disciplined in how I live my life. And so you got to make sure as a man or even as a woman that you're regulating your emotions, regulating your desires, and you're walking through this world disciplined, because that's the way you'll get the most out of it.
Yes, yes. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, everything comes down to discipline. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that, as my sister Natalie said, you govern yourself.
Yes.
Govern yourself. Yeah, I think that's a whole live stream right there. We might need to talk about discipline and the importance of discipline in relationships in an upcoming live stream. But until next time, y'all, can't none of these things that we telling you do nothing for you if you don't stop playing. Bye.
All right, peace, y'all.